I'm going to show you a preparatory study for learning Mary Had a Little Lamb with chords. So your left hand will be playing something different than your right hand, and I want to start out by teaching the chords all by themselves so that you understand how to play them. So first thing you're going to learn is how to play two notes at the same time. So you're going to play a note with your thumb and a note with your tallest finger. So this is finger number 1, this is finger number 3, your thumb and your third finger. I want you to play a G and an E. Can you play both of those at the same time? Try to do that. So that's the beginning of learning how to play a chord. And then you're going to add also a note with your pinky. So let's try doing pinky with middle finger. See if you can play a C with an E. And try playing them at the same time. Can you play those together? Make sure they're exactly together. We don't want them to be one before the other like this or like this. We want them to be both exactly landing at the very same time. And since your tall finger is much taller than your pinky finger, you might have to play around with moving your wrist back and forth, or pressing a little bit more towards the center of your hand, or switching your balance just a little bit to make sure that you're playing them exactly at the same time. So try that. If you find that you're playing one before the other, then maybe you need to switch your wrist back and forth a little bit or something. But try and make sure that you hear both of them starting exactly at the same time. So then the next thing after you've played these in thirds is you're going to play all 3 of those notes at the same time. So C, E, and G with your 5, your 3, and your 1 with those fingers. Can you play all of them, press them all down at the same time? Ooh. And listen, make sure that you're not doing one after, like that, or... Ooh. Did you hear how my notes weren't all completely together? So we want it to be exactly at the same time. Try wiggling your wrist around. Maybe lean your wrist this way. Maybe lean your wrist this way. Maybe lift your wrist a little higher. See what you need to do to make sure that all 3 of your notes are sounding exactly at the same time. Maybe you need to play a little more with your finger bent so that your finger that's tallest is going to be adapting for your shorter finger so that they're all kind of at the same place when they first start. Because if you're playing with them flat, maybe the taller finger is going to hit first. So listen, make sure that you're getting all of your fingers going down exactly at the same time. That's the C chord. So you can practice that. You can practice playing all 3 of those notes at the same time with your left hand. And then the other thing we're going to learn is how to play the G chord. So now you're going to play G with your thumb and reach your fingers a little bit wider and play with your tallest finger, play with your third finger a D. Do you hear that? So now we're playing G and D. And see if you can get those to sound at exactly the same time. Listen if I can do it. Was that good? No. Was that good? Almost. Was that good? No. So we want to hear all the notes sounding together. And then we're going to try this one on D and this one on B. Okay, so these are down here. Ooh. Are they together? Listen, make sure they sound together. Oh, that's good. Okay. Oh, was that together? What should I do to adjust? Oh, maybe I can lift my wrist a little, twist my wrist a little more towards my pinky, because my pinky's shorter. So if I twist my wrist towards my pinky, then it's a little closer to the piano. And that helps me to play it exactly at the same time. So now let's add the thumb. So you're going to add the thumb playing G to the B and the D. So all 3 of those at the same time. And see together. All three at the same time. See if you need to twist your wrist towards your thumb. Oh, that made my thumb go first. What if I twist my wrist towards my pinky? Then my pinky went first. What if I balance my wrist in the center? Then my tallest finger went first. See if we can get them all to play at the same time. Good. Okay, so that's the G chord. You know, we just spent 5 minutes just playing 6 notes, the C chord and the G chord. When you really, really focus on practicing piano, sometimes you can spend a really long time doing just one simple little thing. But it trains your ear, it trains your fingers, and that's how you get better. So what you just did was amazing. Good job. So now the next thing to learn is how we can switch between the C chord and the G chord. And there are 2 different things I want you to do as little exercises. The first one is I want you to go with your thumb and your third finger from E and G, and then move your third finger down to D and G. So your thumb stays on G. And your third finger is opening up to reach the next one. So I want you to find that. And again, listening to make sure you play exactly together. Exactly together at the same time, okay? So this is a little practice thing you can do. Go between the third with E and G and the fourth with D and G, okay? So that's the top part of moving from the C chord to the G chord. Now, the next thing I want you to do is I want you to play the C chord, which we've practiced. So C, E, and G, play them all together. And then just lift your hand up, put it in your lap, take a little break. And then I want you to kind of look at the piano, think about where your fingers are going to go, and I want you to play the G chord, where you have your thumb on G and your other fingers on D and B. Play it, put your hand in your lap. And then come back to the C chord, play it, put your hand in your lap. Try again, G chord. Play it, put your hand in your lap. And that kind of helps you to form the hand shape before you get onto the notes and to anticipate where you're going to. Okay? So this is a way to study the harmony that you'll be playing for Mary Had a Little Lamb and also for all the other songs you've learned so far. This is the next step in getting your right hand and left hand to play melody and accompaniment. So it's really exciting, and this is something that you can do to really get better and good at playing your C and your G chord with your left hand. So practice it like this, and then you'll be ready to play Mary Had a Little Lamb with melody and chords.